Hello and welcome. This is Grant Hughes of Grant Hughes Investigates on YouTube. This channel evaluates all aspects of true crime. As you are aware, videos and live streams in this genre often discuss elements of crime that may be disturbing to some viewers. If necessary, take the precautions needed to avoid these feelings. Factual information related to cases is the key to fostering rational true crime discussions. Fortunately, you will find that here. Please hit the like button only once, share the video, and subscribe if you like my content. Thank you very much for watching.
We're all Richard Allen! Huh?
All right, what's going on, freaks? All right. Man, that video I made today hardly got any views at all. Isn't that amazing? You know, like a new document comes out in the Delphi case and got like 1,200, 1,300 views, which is just god awful. You know, I usually get that in the first hour, but it's been the entire day, so it's pretty crazy. Got the dogs. We have these little diapers that we have them wear when they're running around, just so that, because they mark everything, because they're like 7 and 8 month old puppies, or where they just mark. So now they're not on, so they can be in there and do whatever they want to do. Caught irrelevant. I don't know what that means. Caught irrelevant video. Hey, all right. 19 months. I'm just checking something out here. Oh jeez. Where are they're just off to the side currently, the dogs. And thank you up there to Cheryl, and let's see, looks like we had a Venmo earlier, and we're getting close to the end of the month here, so I know it's kind of a later show, but if you guys have the ability to support the channel during this one, that'd be great too, even though it's a later show. I feel like I'm like off to the side or something. What's going on? Let me see. Oh, there we go. Okay, now it's normal again. But hold on a second. I gotta check it out. The Blazers are playing, and it's just so ridiculous. We're playing the Jazz, and their guy came out with just 2 Hail Mary threes in a row. And then they fouled our guy down 1, and he only made 1 free throw. So now there's 3 seconds left to go in the game, and the Utah Jazz has the ball now, and I bet you, I just have a feeling they're going to make the 3 to win the game. That's how this game's gone. It's crazy. Let's see. Oh, God, he missed it. That's a buzzer. Thank God. That is it's just ridiculous. There's no way we should have lost that one. Anyways, there you go. All right. Well, I looked up one of those. Last night we were doing those cases from Florida, and there was one of them that was from 1997. I looked up that one. If you guys are be interested in looking at that. And then we've got the Delphi information as well. Let's see. You guys want to, which one do you want to go over first? We can go over that again. If you didn't see, I don't think most people didn't even see my video today, so it'd probably be worthwhile to take a look at it. Right, you guys, I think most of you didn't see the video just based on the number of views. Obviously, it wasn't shared either because it just died right out of the gate. And so, whenever I ask you guys, can you please share the video? Literally go out and share it in different places, all over the place, right? Because what happens is if you don't do that, it just dies right out of the chute and has no chance. All right, don't assume somebody else is going to do it. You know, it's just other channels have an army of people that go out and share. And for some reason, people watch mine and go, yeah, okay, yeah. Hey, all right, cool, all right, see you later. Yeah, just try to like help out and let's get, my videos seen more. I mean, it's ludicrous to have 151,000 subscribers and have a video with 1,200 views, right? Doesn't make any sense. Anyway, so here's today's... Now, the defense for Richard Allen are back at it again. I mean, these guys are absolute clowns, embarrassing people. And, whenever I say that, I lose subs because they're Richard Allen nutjob supporters. And I really have no respect for you at all if you're a supporter of Richard Allen. Okay, he was convicted, 12-zip. He is the killer. At very minimum, he was there because he is bridge guy, and that's all you got to know. What do you mean Rosie's disappeared? I don't know what that means. He was on, I guess there was an interview on the on that one idiot attorney, Laura Lee, whatever the hell her name is. Like all four of them were on there, and I mean, they were just saying the most ludicrous things you've ever heard in your life. But I think that video's gone now. Like somehow she deleted it. And she's the one that propagates the crap too with the rest of them. So why wouldn't you just leave it up so people could watch it? Yeah, Baldwin's filing these. But why are you saying Rosie disappeared? He doesn't file any of these things. It's always Baldwin. Yeah, so anyways, this says, comes now, Richard Allen, by and through counsel and files this addendum to defendant verified motion to preserve and produce specific evidence in support of said motion. Allen states the following, that on February 14, 2025, Allen filed his verified motion to preserve and produce specific evidence related to certain letters and video the defense has been told were sent to the prosecutor's office and contain exculpatory evidence. It doesn't, though. I mean, so there's a videotape of a guy named, what is it, Richie or whatever the hell his name is. Richie. And, he's just saying what somebody else told him from years ago. And the guy's dead. Can't even defend himself. It's ridiculous. This is the weakest garbage I've ever seen in my life. Since the filing of that document, the defense met with witness on February 22nd, 2025. And also they said above that the prosecutors never turned over the video. But he met with, the defense met with this guy just 2 days ago. And he was like, ooh, really, ooh, let's hurry up and to sign an affidavit concerning his knowledge of the letters that Richie Davis claims that he sent to the prosecutor's office. Allen's attorney attached a copy of the affidavit, James Winters, marked as Exhibit A to this pleading as further evidence that the defense has good faith belief, based upon due diligence, that the state of Indiana had in its possession certain exculpatory evidence before the October 2024 trial that it did not turn over to the defense, and to further reinforce its request. Don't you think it's weird that Ricky, or whatever the hell his name is, originally said, "Oh yeah, it was Ron Logan, yeah, with the, he wanted to show them a horse and a bunny," and that just didn't sell enough. And then a miracle happens right after that, where now all of a sudden Richie remembers talking to Keegan Kline. I mean, why didn't he mention that? Keegan Kline, who said that Richard Allen, there was 3 people involved, but Richard Allen wasn't the third person. But hey, guys, we're currently at $2.10 for the night, so if you guys could please help support the channel on this show, I got to have it be worth the time spent on here. And we're getting near the end of the month, so we can't have one of those nights where it's just an absolute disaster again. All right, so if you have the ability to, that would be great. I would appreciate it. Thank you. All right, so anyways, the affidavit is, the affidavit by James Winters is, "My name is James Winters, and I'm 67 years of age. I was a dairy farmer in northern Indiana for 50 years and currently raise Holstein steers. I have never been arrested. I have never been in any criminal trouble. I don't drink or use illegal drugs. I understand that lying in this affidavit would or could result in a charge of perjury, since I'm swearing that the things I am saying in the affidavit are true. The things I am saying in this affidavit are true." You just said that. This is a kind of right. This is Baldwin sort of. I mean, I think he might have been the moron who wrote the Frank's memorandum when he kept repeating himself over and over and over again. "One single solitary man acting alone with dexterity." And look at right here. You got that same thing. "I have no reason to lie, and I would not lie." Yeah, it says right up above. It says, "I am swearing that the things I am saying in this affidavit are true. The things I am saying in this affidavit are true. I have no reason to lie and would not lie. In the fall of 2024, my nephew, Richie Davis, asked that I contact the Carroll County Clerk or Prosecutor's Office to find out if they were receiving letters that Richie had written and addressed to the prosecutor. Richie told me that the reason Richie, was asking me this favor was because he had written several letters to Carroll County." So now we have another person claiming that Richie, like he's a witness to, not really though, he's just somebody that Richie said that he sent letters from. Had written several letters to Carroll County prosecutor about Delphi murders and was expecting that those letters would prompt the prosecutor or law enforcement to meet with him. See, these guys sound like Click and Ferenczi, all these other people that we wanted to be the ones that solved it. Hey, thanks, Jim Lawn. I don't think anybody heard what I just said a minute ago. Because not, I got to get working on some videos for tomorrow. Let's see. We got
1.21 gigawatts. What the hell is a gigawatt?
There you go. I figured we could do a later show and it wouldn't affect anything because there's a different crowd, but who the hell knows? I mean, we're currently at 1/25th of a goal. 1/23rd now. Hey, thanks, Mama, 457 Rose. And Jim Lawn. Let's see, in the... Alright, then the next page is... It was my understanding that Richie began writing these letters in the weeks before the man who was accused of Delphi murders was going to trial. So he was writing before. He was like, hey, yeah. And the thing is, his girlfriend was on, I think Frank might, or I don't know if he was on there. She was on there, but, she was saying that they originally tried to get the reward money early on. So maybe that's still what he's trying to do. He was trying to do that prior. And he's still thinking, okay, if we can get this overturned, we can put it on them, then maybe I can get the reward money. I mean, it's just ludicrous. I did, in fact, call the Carroll County Prosecutor's Office. This is the guy writing this. And I did talk to a nice lady. I don't know if she was a clerk or a secretary or something else. I called the prosecutor's office sometime in August, September, or October 2024. I believe it was closer to October. I told the lady who answered the phone my name and further told her that I was calling on behalf of my nephew, Richie Davis. I then asked if she knew whether Richie's letters had been received. The lady immediately told me that she was aware of Richie Davis's name and indicated that they had received, I believe, she said, multiple letters from Richie. But, of course, he doesn't remember her name. The lady further indicated that every letter she had received from Richie Davis, she had passed on to people in charge of the investigation of the Delphi murders. Well, why didn't you send it to the defense team? You know, because they would have been really aware of it, and then they could have shared it with the prosecution and whatever, and it would have made a bigger difference. But instead, you keep sending it to the I don't know. There's just something doesn't add up in these things, you know. I asked the lady if she would let the investigators know what I called, know that I called and that Richie wanted to talk to them, and he had expected someone would talk to him, and that she said that she would relay the message to the investigators. I don't remember the name of the lady. Of course not. I would not lie for anyone, including my nephew. This is just the truth. Yeah, it's all unverifiable untruths, though, right? Like, we can't prove anything that you're saying. This affidavit consists of 3 pages and 20 paragraphs. Wow, so you're telling us the truth. Wow, I'm giving you an example of me telling you the truth, because I'm saying that this has 3 pages and 20 paragraphs. I did not prepare this document. Rather, it was prepared by Attorney Baldwin. Wow, there's no shock there whatsoever, because I would not know how to prepare such a document. Mr. Baldwin typed out what I told him. Furthermore, I know that Mr. Baldwin is not my attorney, nor is he Richie's attorney. And I don't think he's even Richard Allen's attorney at this point. Everything stated in this document is true, and I'm willing to testify in court to these facts if I'm asked to do so. I swear and affirm under penalties of perjury that the statements made in this affidavit are true and accurate. Hey, welcome, Susie Sandpiper. Anyways, that's what that is. I don't know. I'm just I don't even know how to sort of verbalize. I'm so disgusted by the defense team and all of the sort of low moral, sort of low IQ, dumb people in society that are sitting there backing Richard Allen every single day because they're like, ooh, and they're just kind of wringing their hands, hoping there's going to be something. And Richard Allen killed 2 girls. Okay, there is no doubt about it whatsoever. He is bridge guy. He even admitted to being the sole killer, and he said he did it for sexual reasons. And in his confessions, they were all calmly stated, very just matter of fact, and everybody that's heard them said that they were said in a way that's absolutely believable, and they weren't under stress or duress or anything like that. And the only problem is his family members wouldn't accept it, and I think his attorneys actually convinced his wife to not accept it, and I think that's disgusting because they thought they had a way out. Ooh, we think we can create reasonable doubt, even though we probably he admitted it and everything like that, and I know you want to accept it, but we think we can get him off. It's just garbage. They know that Richard Allen is the killer. I don't give a damn what they talk about, oh, Richard Allen, like every time Baldwin opens his mouth, he talks about Richard Allen like he's this great person. He reads a lot. He's so caring about others, and what a load of crap. Richard Allen before was just a total dweeb. Whatever you want to call him. He absolutely is nothing like what he's talking about. They make it sound like he's some sort of erudite, but for the position he's in, he'd probably be a professor at Harvard. You know, it's like, give me a break, man. Richard Allen is just a little scumbag, and I don't know, man. He even admits that he is. That's the thing. All right, you guys, we have no purchased memberships other than the one that somebody bought. We have no coffees. We have $9 so far, and we're going to need to, get moving a little bit quicker here. We'll see where we're at after the first hour. If not, I'll just start working on some videos where I just, when I sit there and I do like 3-hour shows and it's like this, it's really difficult. He might get off on appeals, legal technicality, but he won't. There's no legal technicality whatsoever. It's nothing. Yeah, there's no way in hell he's going to get off on it. See, the thing is, you must be watching people that believe that shit. There is no technicality. There's nothing. Okay? The third-party suspect crap was never allowed because they could create no nexus. The judge did everything correct, including trying to remove those attorneys, because look how irresponsible they were. When they were at trial, they didn't even make any good arguments at all. There was nothing they said that was like, wow, wow, I wonder if Richard Allen didn't. There's nothing, right? Was there ever even a moment during that trial that a rational-minded person was listening and went, man, that's a hell of a good point. Maybe Richard Allen didn't do it. No. They just kept trying to find little things like, okay, maybe the bullet, just little technical things. And none of those things matter at all, because the reality is you realize that Richard Allen is bridge guy. I've gone over it so many times, my little animation and everything like that. And everybody that's seen it, you just know it at that point, once you've seen it. A lot of times, though, the wacko Richard Allen supporters, they don't look into that kind of stuff. The timing, the absolute impossibility almost that Richard Allen isn't bridge guy. It's like it's impossible that he's not. Nobody saw him again. He shows up there. His car's driving by the Hoosier Harvest Store. He passes the 4 girls exactly when he should be passing them. Then he gets to the bridge exactly when he should be at the bridge. He said he was standing on platform 1. Betsy Blair gets there exactly when Richard Allen would still be there. And he's standing on platform 1, the person she sees. Then Betsy Blair turns around and walks back and passes Abby and Libby. Then Abby and Libby therefore have to run into Richard Allen. Richard Allen claims he never saw Abby and Libby. Then, just moments after that, at the other end of the bridge, you have a guy wearing exactly the same clothing that Richard Allen said he was wearing. Richard Allen had called the tip line the day after the picture of the bridge guy was put out, because it's him. When Richard Allen was asked, we just want to know, is that you? And he goes, well, if the girl took that picture, it's not me. Okay, well, if you guys want to believe he didn't do it, then you don't, then there's something wrong with you. And he's admitted it many times. Who are you talking to, Kayla? I have thought someone was actually innocent. Richard Allen is not. Yeah, well, you're stupid, Bell Mayhem. Just in reality, I don't give a damn. See, everyone wants people to respect people's opinion. But if you think that Richard Allen is not guilty, you're dumb. You are a dumb person, technically. All right? I don't know how else to say it, and if it makes you want to leave and never watch the channel again, you go right ahead, but that's just a technical fact. Hey, thanks, Michelle H. Factually innocent. What a stupid person. He's factually innocent. Yeah, well, guess what? 12 brighter jurors than you are decided differently. Okay? Excellent. Factually innocent. What a ridiculous clown show comment. Maybe send me your picture. I'll put it on the next thumbnail along with Baldwin's face with a clown nose on it. Jesus, you got to be kidding me. Unreal. Well, you guys, where are the coffees and where are the membership giftings? You guys have been so good, and then tonight's just... Did Bridge Guy commit the crimes? Does Richard Allen Bridge Guy? Yes. Like I've said 1,000 times to everybody, Richard Allen answered every single question. Okay? See, for years, law enforcement had... Man, that sucks when I don't have the... I have to have the borders, or I don't know what state I'm in. Okay, there. Let's see, if we go down, let's just go here. So for years, law enforcement had all this information on the case. You know, they had... remember the 2019 when we had Doug Carter saying, we want to know who the person... the driver of the vehicle that was parked at the abandoned CPS building. They already knew from 2017 that, you know, Rayleigh, Bree, etc., they all passed an individual right here that they all said was Bridge Guy. Then we had Betsy Blair right over here saying that she saw somebody on the bridge who also was Bridge Guy that's in Libby's video. Her description's a little different, but she was 110 feet away, not 50 feet like she said. And when she turned around, she goes this direction and passes Abby and Libby right over here. And so, but regardless, Betsy Blair saw a person that looked like the Bridge Guy in Libby's video. Okay, so you had that, and then you have the guy in Libby's video, right? Then you had a bullet at the crime scene, and let's just leave it there, okay? They wanted to know who all this was. Then when they finally found the tip by Richard Allen, he said he was there from 1:30 to 3:30, right? So they checked, and lo and behold, a vehicle matching a black Ford Focus drove right by here at 1:27. Then, right after that, exactly the amount of time you would suspect, about like 1:33-ish, he passes these 3 girls right here. 4 girls. There's 4 girls, but he only saw 3 of them. Right here. They saw him, and he saw them. Verified, right? Then he walks this direction. And so that, right now, verifies that the person that Rayleigh, Bree, and the others saw was Richard Allen, right? Because Richard Allen said he got there. Everything matches up. He saw those girls. He saw them. So that means he did get there at 1:30. So this is verified right here. Now they know who that person is. Then you go all the way over to here, and well, you also know that he's the person that parked at the abandoned CPS building. He admits it. Then right over here at the bridge, the person that Betsy Blair saw is absolutely Richard Allen as well, because Richard Allen said he went to the bridge to look at fish. Takes 11 minutes. That'd be 1:44-ish to get to the bridge. Betsy Blair got here at 1:47, so therefore Richard Allen couldn't have gotten past her. She would have walking like this, and he's still standing there when she gets there, so probably about 1:54-ish she got to the bridge. He's standing on platform 1, exactly where he said he was standing, and she said the person she saw was Bridge Guy. So therefore, right there, Bridge Guy and Richard Allen are the same person at that moment. So now we know the person Betsy Blair saw was Richard Allen. And then we know, based on Betsy Blair's testimony, that she walked this way and then passed Abby and Libby. Therefore, Abby and Libby have to run into Richard Allen. And then the girls make it across the bridge, and then at 2:14 and I think it's 2:13 and 50-something seconds. Yeah, 51 seconds. Libby starts filming as the same person that they all saw was catching up to the girls on this side of the bridge. And therefore, the person in Libby's video is Richard Allen as well, because Richard Allen said he was wearing light blue jeans, a dark blue or black Carhartt jacket with a hoodie and some sort of head covering. A skull cap is what he said. That's exactly what the person in the video is wearing. And the person in the video is exactly the person that Betsy Blair saw. The person in the video is the same person that the 4 girls saw over here. Richard Allen said he was wearing those same clothing, was standing on platform 1, exactly where Betsy Blair saw him. Therefore, Richard Allen is bridge guy. There's no escape for him, everybody. 0. He is that person. Okay, so how could it be some other person at this point? Where was, like all the other people that they mentioned? Keegan Kline or Ron Logan, where were they? Okay, now if I'll tell you what, if Richard Allen comes forward and admits that, yeah, he was there, but so was Keegan Kline and so was Ron Logan, I would go, wow, okay, let's go, let's do it. But Richard Allen, no matter how you slice it and dice it, is there. He's the only person that you can absolutely prove was there. All these other people, we have no idea. Just some meth-taking inmate. All right, guys, do I need to be dancing a jig tonight? Is that what we got going? I remember first ever hearing about Delphi from Gray back during pandemic 2020. Oh, that was 3 years after it. Hey, thank you, Matthew Price. We're currently at, let's see, we're at 1/20th of a nightly goal. That was so smart, he self-snitched. Yeah, well, the thing is about Richard Allen is this. He's like so many other criminals out there. And I think if you got a criminology person in here, they would all agree that criminals also often insert themselves into crimes a lot of times to see where law enforcement's at, or they're paranoid and want to make it seem like they're altruistic in some way. So in this case, Richard Allen, he wasn't going to say a damn thing, and I have a lot of thoughts, and I think even some of them are becoming to fruition now, because listening to Becky the other day on Hidden True Crime, she was talking about how, I think Richard Allen I even said this a couple weeks ago. Do you guys remember this? Thanks, Michelle H., for gifting a membership. You're the only one so far that's even on the spin. Every other super chat hasn't even reached the $5, so we're kind of in a weird, I've never had a night like that so far. So thank you. Let's see. I think that when Richard Allen went down the hill, he maybe tried something down below. This is with the new timing. And then he goes, this is 2 in the open, so he took the girls across the creek. And then he had them in dress over there. That's why the phone never moves again. After 2:32, I think it was. Never moves again. Then, he's doing whatever he's going to be doing over there. And then at 2:44-ish, 2:45, the van drives by. And then maybe Libby, I'm just thinking maybe Libby said something like, hey, tried to get the attention of the van, and then he killed her. And let's say Libby was already being, belligerent, trying not to, didn't want anything to happen, and was trying to battle him, and he kills her. And both girls were nude at this time, I think. And then after he kills her, he felt bad for Abby. He could see Abby, and she's just so, small, and I think he had remorse, and he let Abby dress. And then when Abby dressed, he even put her shoes back on and everything. So she dressed herself, and then he thought, God, I have that public job. They're going to notice me. And then out of selfish reasons at the very end, even though he was going to let her go, he decided to kill her to preserve himself. And then he went on to live his life, he said. And I think that's exactly how it went. Right there. Let's see. And and the wounds to Libby are a lot different. Who? Hope you mean the people who get memberships? I don't know if they do or not. I don't know. Hey, thanks Matthew Price. Let's go, Big G. You're awesome. All right, he's trying to get a wave going, you guys. For some reason, my words aren't having any effect on anything, so maybe you can listen to somebody else. Thanks. So, yeah, and then, he kills him, goes back on and lives his life, and then eventually, what I was trying to get at earlier was, and then he's paranoid himself, like, oh my God, I work over at CVS Pharmacy. He knows that Betsy Blair, he looked at Betsy Blair, and he also saw these 3 girls. And then law enforcement on February 15th, 2 days after the murders, 1 day after the bodies were found, they put out the image of Bridge Guy on, the internet and different, news outlets, etc., so people could see this person. But what they asked was, hey, we want to talk to this person and see what they saw. And then guess what? Richard Allen, after seeing his picture, the very next day, went in to the police station and turned in his tip. And I think at that point he thought that he was already identified, but he didn't say it. He just was going to see what they had, right? Like they all do. And then eventually when he was met up with somebody, he goes, yeah, I was there from 1:30 to 3:30, because he thought for sure that they knew that the person in the video was him. So he took that gamble and he said, yep, I was there from 1:30 to 3:30. But Doolin didn't ask, is that you in that picture? Didn't ask that at all. He just said he was there from 1:30 to 3:30, and that he saw 3 girls when he was walking onto the path, and that, it looked like there was like an older sister to a couple other ones. And then, gave him the cell phone information. He said he went to the bridge, and he was just looking at his stock ticker. And he was just doing this to see where they're at. And then I think Richard Allen was absolutely shocked. Hey, thanks, Delphi. He was absolutely shocked. And uniquely, Susie, retired hospice RN. I think Richard Allen was shocked that nobody ever came to his house after that first interview. I think he sat there for 5 years, and that's why he looks so different from 2016 and 17 until the time he was arrested. He looks like a completely different, sort of withered away, sunken eyeballs, just looks terrible, because it was eating him away. I think Richard Allen actually has a conscience. I think he is somebody who, he's not a pure, like, sociopathic type.
I love it when you say,
but Gray! Yeah. Well, thanks, Kami, Sinner, and Stealthy. Okay, so I don't think Richard Allen is I don't know what disorder you would give him, but I think he actually felt remorse, okay? Geez, Cindy. Come on, Cindy. Just calm down, man. I think Dan Doolin should be investigated. The guy said he was there at the time. No reason. Come on, Cindy. Jesus. You know how dumb that sounds? I'm just being honest. I don't know how else to tell you. Investigate Dan Doolin. What a joke. God, give me a break. To him, it just didn't mean anything, because he didn't have enough information. I think I should investigate you for wanting to investigate Dan Doolin. Let's see, but Kohberger was framed. Yeah, of course. But Gray! Yeah, Kohberger, Richard Allen, they're like the same people. You want to watch this? How much you want to bet that you'll get people like Burkhart, Laura Lee, Bob Motta, the regular clown show, online, YouTube defense attorneys, they're all going to go and defend Bryan Kohberger. They're going to pretend that somehow Kohberger got framed. Now, hopefully you're just being sarcastic, Cindy. I'm just going with that. I don't know what your question was, Kimberly. You aren't like the one that I'm like, ooh, what's Kimberly saying tonight? God, I can't wait to read Kimberly's questions. Where are those? Where is it? Where is it? Yeah, I don't even see another question from you. Okay, never mind my question. Let's see. Hey, but Gray. but Gray. I don't even know if you have a question or not, Kimberly. If you have one, go ahead and ask it. I don't really care. Let's see. I don't even know what question she asked. Was it like an hour ago? Or was it set up online with the girls to meet? Don't know, Kimberly. But I mean, are you kidding me, though? To be upset that somebody didn't answer your question? It's like there's a lot of people chatting here. You know, if you put in a super chat, I see it because it's right there. Look at it, like Kim Worth. Had they asked that question, I would have seen it. So now I had to go up to look at your comment from a whiner to see what you were saying, and it's not even, you know. Here's what I do know. Okay, when I interviewed, if you go listen to my interview with, I guess it's Lieutenant Jerry Holman, he said in there that they think that the girls went to the bridge to meet up with Anthony Schatz. They thought maybe they'd see him there. I mean, that's interesting that they still thought that at the end when Keegan Kline, they've ruled him out, basically. But here's the thing is, they've ruled out Keegan Kline, but is there a possibility, and more than a possibility, that somehow a killer like, Richard Allen got the information that those girls are going to be there through some other means, like a Dropbox account that somebody else told him and he was there? Because I think it's incredible that you have we've said this for years now, 2 years. Don't you think it's incredible? Don't you think it's incredible that there's a catfishing account, a predator, who the girls likely went to the bridge to meet, and then another killer was there, unrelated to that person, the other predator, and killed them? I mean, man, that's astonishingly crazy to think that is a possibility. All right. You 100% nailed it, Gray. Thank you. Hey, thanks. Got Susie Sandpiper there. Kim Worth. And we still have 0 coffees, you guys. So I'm going to have to put that in there. Definitely need some of those. Get me going here. And so the thing is, I think Richard Allen has a soul, basically. I don't think he's a good person or anything. But I think you guys can see what I'm saying. When he's in prison, he's, studying the Bible and everything. And then he had like an epiphany. And he decided, you know what? I want to confess, and I want to know that my family will still love me even if they know that I did this. Then I can be all right with this. If I can confess and I know my family's still going to love me, I'll be able to move forward with this. And they wouldn't give him the right answer. His mom did eventually late in the game. But I think Richard Allen wanted to confess. He did confess. He said it multiple times that he did it. He just wants to make sure that they know that he did it and that they'll still love him. And they didn't give him the right answers, really. And I think his attorneys, once he confessed that first time, and the wife called and said, "Oh God, he said he did it." I bet you anything that they devised a strategy. And they told her, "Hey, I don't know, we don't think he did it. We think we can get him off." Because they wanted to be able to try the trial of their lifetimes. Neither of those two nutty attorneys will ever have a case bigger than that one. It's never going to happen. So they kind of pressured Kathy, in my opinion, to continue forward, even though he's already confessed. And they don't think he was just treated badly, and they sort of convinced her that it was all just sort of mental stuff. And you notice how she kept replying with that answer too? Almost like they told her what their strategy is. So when she would say, "Oh, they're making you feel that way, it's the way what's going on in prison. That's why you're confessing here. It has nothing to do with you really doing it."
Ari just wants to be loved. Vomiting face.
Yeah, well, no, that's not what it was. Richard Allen wanted to know that even if his wife and his mother and whatever family members knew that he did it, would they still love him? Because he wanted to come clean. He wanted to, just make things right. And he still could. He wanted to apologize to the family. Somebody said so in that interview with Becky on Hidden True Crime, they said something like that he only wanted to apologize to Abby's family. And I don't remember hearing that at all anywhere. I think that's what the husband said, John said in there. But I don't know if, I don't remember hearing that at all. Do you guys? I remember seeing that written document, or the written thing. I think he just said he wanted to apologize to the families, not Abby's family. What do you mean? You wonder why he didn't get the death penalty? I don't know. It just might be the way the case is. It's more of a, I kind of agree to do it that way in these types of cases. If you don't have like a video of the killing itself and some exact thing, then I think this one's circumstantial to just a great degree, but that's what I kind of draw the line a lot of times in the death penalty. I think the death penalty should be way more rare, and it should only be given when there is these certain criteria are met, where you have like your DNA's on the victim, you've got a video of the person at the crime scene, etc., and just kind of like there is no, like it's 1 in 18 quadrillion chance that, something like that you didn't do it or something. Richard Allen is something like, 1 in 20 million, so maybe that's not enough. I mean, the guy absolutely is the killer, but I don't know if I would make it a death penalty case, even though what he did, he deserves a death penalty. But I don't know the reason why they took that off the table early on. But hey, guys, we're currently at 1/5 of the goal now. But if you guys are out there and you can help support the channel with the coffees, buy memberships. We've only got 2 memberships tonight. We've had 30-something a couple nights in a row. Tonight, just 2. We're at $40 total, and you guys know what we do here on this channel. And if you come back here on the 28th, we'll be donating thousands of dollars out of the income from the channel, hopefully, because we currently had a really struggling month and sort of picked up a little bit at the end. I'm just trying to get some numbers where it makes sense. And I'm speaking to you guys, so if you guys could help out, that'd be great. I always notice when I'm saying that, you guys start talking about something else, and it's really important. Let's see. Yeah, it was a good interview. But you know what's crazy is it said on there, Becky breaks her silence. Well, she was on my channel. You guys probably didn't even see it, did you? I interviewed Becky after the murders. She was on my channel for an hour and a half, and only 6,000 people saw that, which is a joke. You got like the one that Hidden True Crime put out got like 70,000 views or whatever, and the one I did had almost none. So comparatively, so I don't know why that is, but it just is what it is. I mean, I made a video of something she said in it about, she described the 43-second video, and that got 10,000 views. But the actual interview itself got 6. It's wild. Anybody hear what I was just saying, though? We got to get moving here. This is, it's crazy. Let's see. I heard that interview. It was heartbreaking. Right. It was good. So, anyways, these attorneys for Richard Allen are, there's a reason why the judge wanted to get rid of them. And it's not because they work so hard. It's because they think it's because they, she wanted to get rid of them because they're unethical and they do not have Richard Allen's best interests at heart. There's no way at all, okay? And nor do they have societal's best interests at heart. They're all about just, we gotta win, still gotta win. I mean, look at the actions that they've had since the trial is exactly why they needed to be removed. They're embarrassing. I mean, they're still running around trying to relitigate the case when they had a lot of this information and chose not to use it. But now they're like trying to have a second bite at the apple because they didn't use those things. Don't you find that ludicrous? Yeah, it's still up there. I did an interview with her. But when Becky was on my show, she just got back from a trip and was really tired and so forth. So I think I did a lot more of the talking. I probably should have waited and interviewed her a few days later or something like that. The Lori Vallow case, and then those guys all take over. I know I covered the Lori and Chad Daybell case first, and I had it all dialed in, totally locked in, everything was nailed in. And then you got these other channels that just pop in, and they just sort of absolutely take it over with, like, I don't know what the deal is with the algorithm or how it works, but it's really frustrating. I had mapped it all out. I even know exactly where the picture of JJ was over in Yellowstone. I figured out all the stuff, had interviewed the grandparents multiple times before the case was even a thing. Right, but for some reason, nobody watched mine. I don't know why. My interview with Becky, I don't know. Maybe I need to change the title, something like that. No, my show was, I just told you, I interviewed her after the trial was over. Didn't you hear that part? Yeah, she's been on my show for years. I mean, Becky's been on my show, I don't know, probably 4 times over the years, and Kelsey's been on multiple times. Yeah, that's just weird. I don't know what the deal is. Like right now, there's 213 people watching. For some reason, my video doesn't make it somewhere where people see it to click on it. I think you have to be a female or in some kind of group of some sort for YouTube to give a shit. I don't know. It's always been like this. Doesn't matter. I've been doing this channel for years. On big cases, I might get a big following, and then they go do something else. It's wild. They'd rather watch just sort of feel good, bull crap, instead of like somebody that actually figures out what's going on. That's what we do here. Anyways, I don't really have much more to do on the talk about today on the Delphi case. It's just I'm just absolutely disgusted by the attorneys of Richard Allen. All their little games they keep playing. It's like, oh my God, look at these Odinists. They created a 100-and-something page document on Odinism. And oh my God, it's Odinists. Look at that. Click, Ferency, they're heroes. Bob Mott has said, oh, these guys are the greatest people on the planet. This is the greatest document ever written, he said. It's right up there with the Magna Carta. You know, and but they weren't allowed to use it at trial. Then the trial's over. Oh, it's Ron Logan, everybody. Oh, it's Ron Logan. Well, what about your Odinists? And then you hear people like Bob Mott, it doesn't matter. That's not the job of the attorneys. They're supposed to be able to just throw. What are you talking about? You guys all sold the Odinist stuff like it was the answer. And now it's Ron Logan. And then when Ron Logan sort of failed, and it still does, everybody, because we know that, does this make sense to anybody? I said it in my video. Does this make sense to a soul out there? Does it make sense that Abby's on the bridge, she's trying to get off, there's this guy following, and she says, hey, don't leave me up here, to Libby. And then eventually she says, is that a gun? He's got a gun. And then just moments later, Ron Logan's walking with those girls and said, you want to see my horsey and bunnies? And Abby's like, yeah, that'd be awesome. And then Libby said, oh, I don't know about that, and caused a problem. Wow, does anybody really think Abby would be into that? That makes sense to anybody? Who are you talking about, Nancy? You mean Kelsey, right? Yeah. Let's see. What makes sense? It doesn't make. How does that make perfect sense? Why would Abby say, yeah, I want to see the bunny and the horse, when she's scared out of her mind right at the end of the bridge? Yeah, forget it. Okay? There is no Ron Logan there. Now, if you want, if Richard Allen admits and says, yeah, I was there, but so was so-and-so, I'd go, okay, I'd perk up, I'd listen. But if he ever tries to claim, like he's still doing, in any future thing that he wasn't there, forget it. You just throw it out the window. Yeah. Oh, you were way back there. All right, so what do we do, you guys? If you guys send in 5 or more, you get put into the spin for the notebook. All right, we're currently, at 1/5 of the goal. Does that mean anything to you guys? Some people reported they didn't sound scared out of their mind on the video. No, that's bullshit. Becky said that you could tell that she was really nervous, Libby, and then you hear Abby say, don't leave me up here. And then, he's got a gun. Is that a gun? So you think she said, oh, is that a gun? Yeah, that's a gun. All right, cool. Think that happened? Come on, you use common sense, man. Just use your brain a little bit. Let's see, Noodles, what exactly do you think she was unjustly dismissive about? Who? I don't know who you're talking about. I think it would have been much different outcome if Goal hadn't been so dismissive. You mean, had she allowed your Odinism crap in? Is that what you're talking about? Kelsey is spelled with an I, by the way. It's Kelsi. Yeah. Ron Logan has nothing to do with it. Okay. Been shown, so there wouldn't be so much BS. I wonder if they filmed it in some way that's just like we don't know about. Just for records. I don't know. Maybe there was absolutely zero footage of it at all. Well, anyways, I'm gonna just move on to something else, and I'll see where we're at here. How long have I been on here for? This is not sustainable. Yeah, we're been on there for over an hour, and yikes. I don't know, Noodles. Let me just say something, Noodles. I'm not interested in your opinion, okay? You're not interesting. Nothing you're saying is accurate. It's just, doesn't mean anything to anybody. I know that you hope that you have some pearl of wisdom that you'll be able to say to somebody that they'll go, wow, that's really interesting. I think he's innocent now. It's just not going to happen, okay? People that have brains that work understand that Richard Allen is Bridge Guy. The fact that you don't know who it is, I apologize for whatever school you went to, but it's ridiculous, okay? It's obvious that Richard Allen is Bridge Guy. The fact that you don't know that he's Bridge Guy, it just sort of speaks of how your brain works. It doesn't work well, all right? So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and switch over to something else. This is weird. It's weird. I always do that, Noodles. Don't make stupid comments. Nobody says anything then. Right, yeah, he was found guilty by 12 people. Quickly. Very easy stuff. This is weird. This is weird in here. Oh, God. Maybe come back another time. All right, guys. So what do you think's going on tonight? Why is it so slow tonight compared to other nights? Anybody want to answer that one? Take a stab at it. Got 2 members. New members were... Yeah, well, I'm just saying, I'm not talking about you specifically, Timothy. Because I want to do this other story, but I'm kind of like, I could keep it for another time. Maybe start working on tomorrow's video. Right, wasn't really asking you specifically, Timothy. Yeah. Just came back. I'm curious to understand. I'm not though, Kayla. You can be interested. They don't ever have an answer for you. It's just illogical, nonsensical garbage. Yeah. So, I'm not interested. I've already heard it all. I've heard it all 1,000 times. Anybody have any answer though for what I just asked a second ago? What happened in the double murder in Eugene? I didn't hear about that. Is it solved? Let's see. Lane County Sheriff's Office investigating double murder in Mohawk Valley. Lane County Sheriff deputies are investigating the death of 2 adults found inside a residence of McGowan Creek Road on Sunday afternoon. According to the Lane County Sheriff's Office, deputies responded to a home in the 36,000 block of McGowan Creek Road, northeast of Springfield, shortly after 3 p.m. Hey, thanks, Lizzie Rob. On February 23rd, when a caller reported discovering individuals believed to be deceased. Emergency crews arrived on the scene and confirmed the deaths of Paul Allen Turner, 89, and that's kind of odd to have 2 old people like that killed, and Beverly Jean Turner, 84. The Turner's son, Christopher Allen Turner, 59, was also found at the residence and was detained. Oh, well, there you go. Lane County deputies said he's probably like, man, I want my... You know what's interesting is like I'm the same age as that guy, and my parents are like the same age kind of as his parents. Was detained. Lane County deputies said their investigation determined that Christopher was responsible for the deaths, and he was jailed on 2 charges of first-degree murder. He probably wanted life insurance. They're like, die already, you bastards. Yeah, so there you go. Okay, we already got the answer. Man, you guys should start a wave of some sort. This is wild. There's a doctor who strangled his wife to death. Okay. Yeah, what does that mean? There's a doctor that's... How about a whole sentence? You know what I mean? Like, the son most likely killed... Yeah, I just read that. I just told you that. They said that. Right. Probably lived in the basement. Alright, I'm going to try this case right here, but hold on, it's going to take me a minute. I got to reorganize. Forgot to... Got to put the right dates on there. Wow, Moofies, that's the largest super chat of the night. Never seen anything like it. Thank you.
Ocean wave, ocean wave, ocean wave.
That's right, Ocean Wave, while I'm changing these dates. Yeah, you know how dates should be written, you guys? It should be year, month, day. Every single time. If you don't do it that way, you can't sort it. I think it's funny when people are like, they argue. No, it should be like March 18th, 19 something. You know, no, it should be the other way. Or 1997, 03 something. And then you can put everything in order and sort. I think you'll probably find this interesting. Hey, Moofies was trying for a wave there. Give it a shot anyways. 1997, 03, 21. And the last one is 1997. I think that should be right. Alright, there we go. Okay, so let's do... Remember last night on the show we went over all those serial killer victims? And then there was one from 1997 that was on there. And so I thought I'd take a look at that. And then hers leads to another like series of people. I mean, I don't know what's going on in Florida over there, but back then. So let's take a look. Alright, so I actually, without her name being there, I was able to find the original article because they didn't know who it was. It says, it's all the way over here. A young woman's body found in thicket. So maybe we can get a good...
Guys, let's donate.
Yeah, we gotta, I mean, we're getting near the end of the month and we gotta just keep on going. Last month, the end of the month was just like a normal night. It was nobody, it's really wild. Let me see if I get down here. So this is Ellen Louise Stowe. You want to hear something crazy though? I'll just tell you right off the bat. Is this person, turns out that she was in Playboy. You know, it was like a, and she dated Gene Simmons for a while. I mean, it's just wild. Then she turned out, I mean, she must have just absolutely fallen on horrible times, because then she became a sex worker on the streets. Okay? So when we're reading this, just realize that that's the final outcome in this. Pretty crazy. Thanks, Timothy Cecil. Yeah, we're currently at, we made it to a quarter. Not bad. It is a wooded, relatively secluded thicket, usually drawing those seeking its comfort and convenience. Anglers enjoy the shade of its canopy while they fish during the day in an adjacent canal. Truck drivers often park their rigs next to it because it was one of the few places they could do so legally. Schoolboys built a clubhouse in one of the sturdy trees, but Sunday those same boys discovered a horrifying secret there: the half-dressed body of a young woman. Police were trying to determine the cause of death late Sunday night, but they had an even bigger question to solve. Who was she? Thank you, Linda Howe. I wasn't able to share that thing. I read your whole post, though. Hey, look at that. We got a coffee came in. Thank you. From Justin. All right, so police were trying to determine the cause of death late Sunday night, but they had an even bigger question to solve. Who was she? The woman, described as in her 20s, carried no identification, Sergeant Jeff Maslin said. An autopsy could be performed as early as today. We had no idea who she is, Maslin said Sunday. That quest begins tonight. Several 10 to 12-year-old boys stumbled upon the body around 3 p.m. while searching for wood for a skating ramp. 2 boys in the group and a third, who saw the body from a distance, said the woman had no shirt and that bruises on her neck suggested that she had been choked. Maslin confirmed that the woman was naked from the waist up, but he said investigators found no visible signs that would lead them to conclude a cause of death. The woman's face and neck were discolored, so probably strangled or something like that. Hey, thanks, Kayla. The woman's face and neck were discolored when the body was found. The body that could have looked as if it were strangulation marks to the untrained eye, so maybe it wasn't. There were no signs of strangulation on the outside, Maslin said. We really don't know what the cause of death was. And since I can't see it, my trained eye has played no relevance here. So it looks like her body's probably right behind this little makeshift thing that they set up here. And there's a little pond there. Looks like there's some scuba divers looking around. There was no sign of strangulation on the outside. We really don't know what the cause of death was. The thicket where the body was found is behind an Eckerd drugstore at the intersection. Okay, so let's try to, now we can find this spot. And this is Coral Springs, so I think we're kind of in the same area again, you guys. So it's intersection of Atlantic Boulevard and Coral Ridge Drive. My God, I mean, this is right here. Look at this. Look where she was found, you guys. I mean, this is just getting stupid. So now we have Linda's body, Stacy's body, Ivalise's body, and now we have another body right here. Are you kidding me? Let's go back to the, let's see, 1995. See, this, it looks like this is all clear here. Well, actually, hers was 97, so it should be pretty close to like this. The thicket where the body was found is behind an Eckerd drugstore. You think that's still there? Is there still, does that still exist as a... No, I don't think so. Atlantic. I forgot to mark. Okay, there it is. So right in this area, anyway. I wonder if it's right here in this thing. So Ellen body found. Let me go down to Street View, take a look. It's weird because there's like a pond, right? Now there's a lot of ponds over here. I just don't see one that looks like the picture. You know, the picture we were just looking at? See, look. So there's like a bank and then water right there. Police, after shielding a young woman's body, await the medical examiner at the scene. So let me just try this some more. They're saying there's a store in this area, but I guess we'd have to go back in time. How about like 2002? So look, there's nothing there at that point. I mean, could that be? Is there something? Yeah, that's weird. I don't know. I can't see. I mean, this is here, so I mean, I guess it. What did that look like? Get back in. Yeah, see, that's been there. That's 1999. This is 97, so. Hey, thanks, Lawrence, for the coffee, and also earlier, I think maybe Alley Cake? I don't know. I can't tell the name. Somebody on Venmo. Yeah, I mean, it looks like there's a pond right there, right? So let's see. The thicket where the body was found is behind an Eckert drugstore at the intersection of Atlanta Boulevard and Coral Ridge Drive, but police said they weren't sure whether the woman died there. Okay. So it almost seems like it's one of these, because those are the only things that look like a store, right? Or the CVS. So I would bet you that that's a drugstore, and they probably bought it out at some point. But where's the water that they're looking at? You know? I bet you anything, though, that that's the place. But they said a thicket behind it. Oh, is this it? You know what? I bet you anything that that's it. Right like that. Oh, yeah. Yep. Can I get a boom? See that? Look at that. That's the grass and then the trees and everything. Guarantee it that that's what they're talking about. You know, so they're giving you the main reference to a drugstore, but it's back here. Let's see what it looked like in 97. Hold on. Oh, well, there you go. See, here's the drugstore, and there was nothing here other than a field, and so then you have that. So if it was today, they would have said behind whatever building that is, right? So that means her body was found right there. Isn't that amazing, you guys, when you just use logic and common sense? And that's 1999, 97, even more. And so that makes sense right there. Crazy. Jeez. Alright, so we're just going to keep on going now. See, what we do on this channel, you know what a really good way to describe what we do here is we back engineer cases. You know, when we get the news, then we back engineer what the investigators have already come up with, and then we put it together, and then we know it sort of like how they know it. I think that's a good way to sort of visualize it. Hey, thanks, Alex, for the coffee. Now we got to go on one of those membership runs, because I still don't know if GSU PM has one. They'll probably win one when they're not here. Hey, look at that. Ted Bundy just supported the channel again. I have serial killers supporting the channel. The thicket is next to a popular fishing canal, only a stone's throw from Eagle's Nest apartment. Okay, now this might prove it, but let's see if it's still there. Eagle's Nest apartment. Ah, it could still be there. Yeah. Man, that's just crazy. Because remember, there's another body right here, too. And that's on Coral Ridge Drive. And then there's a body just off of Coral Ridge Drive there. That's Ellen's body. Then right down here, you have two bodies right off of Coral Ridge Drive. I mean, what are the odds of that? Come on. Yeah, and then, okay, so it could be, if these are the apartments, then it's a little bit more over here, but it's the same look, right? Like right there. See? Because these are the apartments I'm sure that they're talking about. Has to be. Oh, yeah, it even says Eagle Nest Drive. So here's those apartments. And let's see if those were there. I'm pretty sure they were back in 97. Yep, see, they're right there. So there you go. Only a stone's throw from there. So, you know, it could be, you know, right here, you know, which just, I'm going to put it right there because they said it's behind that, but a stone's throw from those apartments. Okay. There we go. Hey, Moofy's gifted a membership. All right. There we go. We got one. And thanks to Ted Bunny, Alex, Lawrence, Kayla, Justin for the coffees. All right, let's get moving on this though. The thicket is next to the popular fishing canal, only a stone's throw from Eagle's Nest, an apartment complex. 10-year-old Bobby Shaw saw the body from a distance after his friend told him about it. The first thing that went on in my mind was, it's awful. If it's someone I know, he said. All right. Let me hit save up here to make sure I don't lose that. Move on to the next one. Hey, look at that. Alex gifted a membership. I'll put you over here too. Disappearance at Beaumont. Oh, yeah. Justin G. Alright. Just got to get you guys in the mug drawing. If we make it to the mug drawing. Alright, so here's the next one. So now they've ID'd the body. Police Monday identified a woman found murdered in Coral Springs as Ellen Louise Stowe, 40, of Fort Lauderdale. Stowe was strangled and her body was dumped in a thicket behind a drugstore at the intersection of Atlantic Boulevard and Coral Ridge Drive, said Sergeant Jeff Maslin of the Coral Springs Police Department. The woman's half-nude body was found Sunday afternoon by a group of boys playing. Well, we got Kevin and Gina Scotty HG memberships. And thanks, Alex, again. The woman's half-nude body was found Sunday afternoon by a group of boys playing. She was killed 8 to 12 hours before her body was discovered. Stowe was last seen alive late Friday evening. And here we go. Let's go 600. Man, how much you? Let's just bet. Where do you think this is going to be? I'm just kind of guessing it's going to be south or something. Near, I mean, who knows? I have no idea, but I'm just going to guess south near some of those other areas that we've already looked at. So let's see, 600. So this is going to be a place where sex workers, South West 4th Avenue. Oh. Well, I guess we have to know what city that would be in, though. Coral Springs, right? Right over here. And so that's near that pizzeria that we talked about yesterday. So 600 Southwest 4th, near where she lived. Okay, so maybe she was, yeah, right there, something like that. Last seen. Don't you guys find these interesting? I know you lose people, but I always like doing these. I think these are some of the more interesting cases that are out there. Nobody talks about them, though. Hey, it's Zozo! She showed up to the show. Oh, I remember Mr. Cruel. Didn't we cover that one time? Wasn't he the guy that was out there with the van or some crap like that? I can't remember. On a beach? I don't know. Hey, Ted Bundy again. All right, Ted Bundy. The serial killer. All right, so that was, she was last seen on the 600 block of Southwest 4th Avenue. Maslin said Stowe was divorced within the past several years and had the married name of Ellen Maligo or something. She was identified by her fingerprints, which match prints taken when she was arrested on drug charges years ago. Maslin said police have no suspects in the slaying. All right, here we go. And we're moving on to the next one. Hey, thanks, Moofies. Woman's murder may be linked to two similar cases. So, and so now we have another case where she might be linked to two other cases again, even though this is like 7 or 8 years after the other ones. Detectives investigating the strangulation of a Fort Lauderdale woman will meet on Thursday with investigators in Palm Beach County to see whether the case may be linked to two cases there. On Sunday, a group of boys discovered the body of Ellen Louise Stowe, 40, in a thicket behind a drugstore near Atlantic Boulevard and Coral Ridge Drive. Stowe, described by police as a sex worker and drug addict, lived and worked near 600 block of Southwest 4th Avenue in Fort Lauderdale. Is that what we have up here? Oh, yeah, right there. See, Fort Lauderdale. So, yep. She was last seen between 3 and 5 p.m. on Saturday, said Coral Springs Police Detective William Wentz. Wentz would not elaborate about whether Stowe was killed and then dumped or whether she was murdered at the place where her body was discovered. On the surface, the Stowe murder loosely resembles a pair of unsolved murders in Palm Beach County, Wentz said. He plans to meet with detectives there to determine whether there are similarities between the cases. The one with the strongest resemblance is the strangulation murder of Sandra K. Walters. So I'm wondering if now they have determined it to be a strangulation, whose nude body was found on February 25th. Isn't it interesting, again, the dates of all these, you guys? Remember how this is the dates. So we had March, January, February, January, February, March. And then there's one in May and one in November. But all the rest are January, February, March out of like 9 of them. Pretty crazy, huh? Remember that? We were talking about that yesterday. Wentz would not elaborate about whether Stowe was killed and then dumped or whether she was murdered at the place where her body was discovered. On the surface, the Stowe murder loosely resembles a pair that we were talking about. So it was Sandra K. Walters, 33, whose nude body was found on February 25th behind Follies, an adult bookstore. Let's see where this is. God, do I put this one in here? I'm going to put this in here. This other one. Sandra K. Walters. Or wait, I have that. No, I already have that folder. Yeah, so I've got that folder. I guess what we could do, though, is put it out here. So 1997. 02-25. Sandra K. Walters, 33. Okay, so we got that, and then let's put the she was found in the 2500 block, South Military Trail. Is that where is that? Right there? That sounds more. That's probably right. So probably right here in this canal. Is that what they said? Behind Follies, an adult bookstore. Like Stowe, Walters was white, a prostitute, had a drug problem, and lived in Fort Lauderdale, said Palm Beach County Sheriff Lieutenant John Kianka. Pretty sure this is where she was found, though. We'll just put it like, somewhere around in here. Okay. Got that one. We'll go back to there. I know, sometimes you guys can't see what I'm doing, but there's a lot of crap you gotta move around and shit like that. Got 4 monitors, you guys. 4 monitors. Do you guys want to see what that looks like? Just for the hell of it. Let's see if I go gray only. There I am. Watch. Ew, I don't know how far out I can do it, but it's like this. See, there's a monitor, but over here I have that monitor. See that monitor? That one's vertical, so it goes like that. And there's this monitor. That's the one I use everything to stage on. And then this monitor right here, and then another one way over there. Okay? So it's pretty crazy. I can't pull this out. Well, maybe I can. There you go. A little bit further. So that monitor's kind of tall, and it goes all the way over like that. So there's a lot of stuff going on there. I have 2 vertical monitors that they're sort of like, you know, how you have a portrait or landscape. You can actually rotate the monitors like that. So you can put multiple bigger windows on there if you want. I mean, it's a good way to do if you want to put like a website there. You can put 3 on one monitor. All right. And that's kind of why I don't see when there's something on the screen sometimes, because I'm looking at this other monitor to the right. Well, here, I'll show you that again. Okay. Here, this is what I'm doing. So this one over here is, see, this is the one that has, it's the software that streams to the internet. Right, this one right here. But this screen right there is the one that I'm reading the articles on, right there. Right there. And it shows up over here, except it's not, because it's doing the, you know, camera on a camera inside of a window thing. But I'm looking at this one, so I don't see anything on there. So for example, right now, if I click on a comment by somebody, you guys can see the comment, but I can't. See my screen? That's what it looks like. Now if I pan over here, You know, I guess you could see it if I... That's hard to explain, but you know what I'm talking about. Alright, gotta move this, put this back into position here. Ah, there we go. I don't know what that means. Okay. So back to this. Like Stowe, Walters was white, a prostitute, or a sex worker, had a drug problem, and lived in Fort Lauderdale. The West Palm Beach Police Department is trying to determine whether there is a link between those deaths and that of Lisa Palmer, too. So there's even another one. Palmer lived in Oakland Park, was white, and spiraled into an abyss of drug addiction. Atherton said her body was found floating in a canal on January 22nd off Pratt Whitney Road. I mean, this is crazy. Let me put this one in here too, all right? Jeez. So this one is rename, Control C, Control V, boom, put that right there. All right, and then she was found Pratt Whitney Road. Yeah, see? Yeah, there we go. Hopefully I got rid of it. Okay, so now this one's found here. Now we're getting kind of far away. Floating in a canal. Where's the canal here? I don't see it. Is this one? Oh wait, no, right here. So that's the main intersection, but this canal right there probably. Because there isn't one here. They said Pratt Whitney Road, and that is, well, this is Pratt Whitney Road right there, and this is Okeechobee Boulevard, and they just say in a canal on January 20th, off, so it's off of here. I would bet you it's right there. All right, well, we got that in there. I guess you wouldn't want to live in that area if you're a sex worker. I mean, what a, so many deaths. Crazy. And sex workers are the choice of serial killers now because, and even then, because nobody was hitchhiking anymore. And they're the only people that would just get into your car. But the Palm Beach County Medical Examiner's Office has not yet determined her cause of death. This is referring to Palmer. Atherton is interested in talking to the detectives from Coral Springs, but is skeptical about a link. So who knows? All right, that. This is March 19th article. So moving on to the next one. Same person may be responsible for killings. And this one is March 21st. So this one says, the similarities are compelling. Two women, both small-framed with light brown hair and brown eyes and a history of drug problems, both turned tricks in Fort Lauderdale. Both ended up strangled within 3 weeks of each other. Their bodies were haphazardly discarded, one in Palm Beach County, the other in Coral Springs. Now authorities in 2 counties think the same man may be responsible for the deaths of Sandra K. Walters and Ellen Louise Stowe. That's who we're talking about. But they won't go so far as to tag him a serial killer. Well, okay, because it wasn't 3. On Thursday, detectives from Coral Springs, Fort Lauderdale, West Palm Beach, and Palm Beach County compared notes about these 2 killings and 2 others incidents to determine whether a pattern was formed. We don't know for sure, but there are a lot of similarities, Palm Beach County Sheriff Detective Sergeant David Grant said. My feeling is he lives in Broward. What ties he has up here, we don't know. So Broward is down below where all those other killings were from, 86 or 87, etc. But he seems to be getting more confident in what he's doing. He got away with it the first time and is now dumping his second victim closer to home. On February 20, how does he know? I mean, that's just guessing. On February 25th, a man found the naked body of Walters, 32, behind Follies, an adult theater on South Military Trail in Palm Beach County. Walters, a divorced mother of 2, worked as a sex worker near Federal Highway and South. Let's see. So this is B. We got to go to like 30. What page is that? Oh, yeah, that's the right one. Okay, East 6th Street in Fort Lauderdale had been strangled. Her killer uses bare hands, Grant said. Then on Sunday, some boys found Stowe's body in a thicket behind a drugstore near Atlantic Boulevard and Coral Ridge Drive in Coral Springs. She had been strangled and was naked above the waist, police said. Both had last been seen hustling in the area between Southwest 4th Avenue and Federal Highway along 6th Street. So that sounds like the same killer probably drove by and picked them up on different nights. It is unclear who their last customer were, but detectives think both women were killed near where they worked and discarded far from the crime scene. There are no clear leads in either case. Police, however, have ruled out any connection between these killings and the death of Lisa Palmer, 28, of Oakland Park. Though Palmer fits the physical profile of the other victims, she was not a sex worker. Now, that doesn't mean shit. I mean, if she was hitchhiking or something, it would be the same. So she wasn't a sex worker like the other ones. She worked for an escort service. Wait, hold on a second. Though Palmer fits the physical profile of the other victims, she was not a sex worker. She worked for an escort service. That's the same damn thing. What are you talking about? And had a recent history of drug problems, said West. Okay. Hey, she's not a sex worker, you guys. She's an escort. You know? What a joke. Are you kidding me? Let's see. Let me read that again. That didn't even make any sense. Though Palmer fits the physical profile of the other victims, she was not a prostitute. She worked at an escort service. Well, no, that means she's a prostitute, okay? Maybe it's higher level or something, but right. I mean, does anybody out there get confused on that? All right, we're having one of those huge lulls, you guys. So if you're out there and you can help support the channel, that'd be great. See if we can have a decent night by the time this one's over. That'd be awesome. Thanks for all the people who've supported so far. Appreciate it. Yeah, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Palmer was found on January 22nd in a northwestern Palm Beach County canal, wrapped in sex worker. Somebody named sex worker, that's probably Ted Bundy, just supported the channel. Hey, thanks Moofies again. Man, you guys, you're putting all the weight on Moofies tonight. Palmer was found January 22nd in northwestern Palm Beach County. One other tenuous tie is being looked at, but not taken as seriously. The report from a Palm Beach County prostitute who told police she was picked up by a customer in early January, Grant said. He drove her out near the Lakahatchee Wildlife Area, about 5 miles from where Palmer's body was later found. There, the customer wanted to beat the woman. Frightened, she got away by jumping into a canal. Wow, geez, with alligators and all. Into a canal, swimming to the other side and running until she could find help, Grant said. Detectives, while enlightened by the similarities in the cases, are frustrated by the lack of leads. We will exhaust our means, Grant said. Yeah, I don't think I would make it out. You guys easily could have thrown me in prison at the beginning. All right, so here we go. This is March 23rd, 1997. Stars Fall came after brush with life of glamour. Some people think it's egotistical to call myself a star, she told Playboy 20 years ago. But it's not in the Hollywood sense at all. Instead, it was about her love of stars that glitter in the sky, she said. She also was drawn to rock stars. She met Simmons, the lizard-tongue bassist for the heavy metal band Kiss, at the elevator of Las Vegas Hotel Sahara, where the group was playing. Simmons wasn't wearing his trademark shocking white face paint and black bat wings around his eyes, but Stowe told Playboy that she liked his laid-back manner so much that she hung around with the band for a while. For her Playboy spread, titled Starstruck, Stowe looked like an innocent teenager. Aside from the requisite nearly nude shots, there were photos of her with Kiss and at a party Hugh Hefner threw for Elton John. Life after Playboy wasn't good for Stowe. That's who we're talking about here. This is the Ellen Louise Stowe. That was the victim that we came up with yesterday in one of the articles, and now it turns out that this is her right here. Life after Playboy wasn't good for Stowe. It isn't clear what happened, but the fling with Simmons was short-lived. Sometime after 1977, Stowe met and married Peter Malago. They had a son, Michael Malago, now 14, and later divorced. Stowe moved to Fort Lauderdale in 1986 with hopes of becoming a dancer at an adult club such as Pure Platinum or Solid Gold, her ex-boyfriend said. When Michael was 6, Stowe sent the boy to live with his grandmother in Little Rock, but stayed in touch through frequent visits and weekly telephone calls. It was like talking to your best friend, Michael said. I thought she was so cool. I really enjoyed being around her. Michael's fondest memories of her mother are playing board and video games with her and eating beef stir-fry she made. Stowe's hopes of becoming a dancer didn't work out, and eventually her life spiraled into an abyss of drugs and prostitution, said her former boyfriend, who met Stowe in 1991. She told him she was ready to give up drugs and walking the streets. I don't think I could, I mean, I don't know if it's just me, but I don't think I could date somebody that was a sex worker. I mean, maybe a dancer or something, but I don't even know about that. I think it'd just be too much. It's not the way things are supposed to be. Couldn't do it. Ellen Louise Stowe, at the age of 19. See, this is them right here, look. I don't know if I can zoom in. There they are. He told her he provide for her. Let me go back down here. Oh yeah, so Stowe hopes of becoming a dancer didn't work out, and eventually her life spiraled into an abyss of drugs and prostitution and her former boyfriend who met Stowe in 1991. She told him she was ready to give up drugs and walking the streets. He told her he'd provide for her so she wouldn't have to sell her body anymore. During the 5 years they were together, Stowe's criminal record stayed clean. She cared for the couple's animals, cleaned and tended to their garden. They split up in August after what he described to be a drunken argument. She ended up with a nasty bump on her head. He never saw her again. But through friends, he heard that she was back on the streets, selling herself, doing drugs, and drinking. Stowe isn't particularly unusual for a former centerfold, said Bill Farley, director of communications for Playboy and her enterprises in Los Angeles. Some girls take advantage of the lifestyle, but others drift off, Farley said. They marry badly or get involved with the wrong man. The last time Michael talked to his mother was almost 2 weeks ago. While he was aware of her lifestyle, they did not discuss it much. Instead, she told him about some new bands she'd heard and how she liked the new 9 Inch Nails album. She last was seen in her old neighborhood working the streets. It was between 3 and 5 p.m., March 16th. Police think she was picked up and killed and dumped sometime after that. When Playboy's Farley heard the news about the former centerfold, he said, "God, that's so sad." Well, how about Playboy? Maybe you should have done a little bit more for some of your clients that made you millions of dollars. They seem so, like, didn't even bring that up. They were just like, oh, yeah, some of our people, they just... All right, where are we at? We're currently at... We're not at 50% yet, you guys, so... I'll tell you, let's see, I think we need... If we get 5 more memberships, we'll be at 50% on the YouTube portion. All right, and thank you to Lisa on the coffee. Investigators consider link in women's death. The murders of 3 Broward County women. So this one's December 4th. So now we're 9 months later. Murder of 3 Broward County women with troubled lives and similar physical traits have detectives wondering if there's a link between the deaths. Sandra K. Walters and Ellen Louise Stowe, both prostitutes, were killed earlier this year. Well, hey, thanks, KK. Look at that. We got Small Wildflowers, Jamie Handlin, Swamp Side Chick, American Dreamer, and Lady Allen. Very cool. KK just got back in town after working on a, was it movie? Looked like a horror movie. That's what you do. The makeup. She's a blood spatter expert, she told us. So we got Lady Allen, American Dreamer, Swamp Side Chick, Jamie Handlin, and Small Wild Flowers. Very cool. Thank you. So Sandra K. Walters. So I have her, right? Yeah, so this is... So now they're referring to... Okay, so the murders of 3 Broward County women with troubled lives and similar physical traits have detectives wondering if there's a link between them. Sandra K. Walters and Ellen Louise Stowe, both prostitutes, were killed earlier this year. Walters was found in West Palm Beach and Stowe in Coral Springs. Tammy M. Strunk's body was found, now there's another one, in Plantation last week. Palm Beach County detectives met with Plantation police on Thursday to sift through the similarities and find possible connections. We don't have any scientific evidence, said Palm Beach County Sheriff Detective Robert J. Wolfert. There's always a chance all three have characteristics of being similar. Wolfert brought plantation detectives to Follies and adult bookstore on South Military Trail where Walter's body was found. Okay, yeah, as detectives from the agency go over the cases, Wolfert wanted to make one thing clear. The deaths do not yet appear to be the work of a serial killer. Until we can justify forensically, we can't use those words. The women all had light brown or strawberry blonde hair, meaning one of them had strawberry blonde and the other two had brown. All were slender in their 30s to early 40s and had troubled lives. All were last seen in, is this B1 here? Yeah. So then probably have to go to, it's B13, so that means probably like 28 down here. Now, let's see, 25. What page is this? Let's see, wow. 20. That's 6B, 7, 8, hopefully. Yeah, okay. Oh, it's 8B, but it doesn't... No, wait, it wasn't 8, it was 13, wasn't it? Or something like that. Hold on. So it's not in here. Oh, well, guess we don't get to read the second half of that. And that was the December 4th, and then we got 1988, February 1st. In the past year, 4 prostitutes slain on federal highway. The ladies of the night coolly stroll federal highway in Fort Lauderdale, hopping into cars and cutting quick deals to trade sex for money to satisfy their drug cravings. But beneath the business as usual atmosphere lies an ominous threat that most of the women are unaware of. Since February 1997, 4 prostitutes have worked the highway at one time or another have turned up dead. 3 of the women, Ellen Louise Stowe, that's the Playboy bunny, Tammy Strunk, and Sandra K. Walters shared similar physical characteristics, and at least 2 of them were strangled. The 4th victim, Melissa Floyd, now we have another one, was stabbed and mutilated. Her body was dumped near an interstate in northern Palm Beach County in August. Despite the similarities in 3 of the cases, investigators won't say the slayings are related. Let's see. I don't think it's the same individual, but we haven't ruled that out. Yeah, that was another one, Melissa Floyd. Oh, Jesus. Let me just put that one in there. The 4th victim, Melissa Floyd, was stabbed and mutilated. Her body was dumped near... Well, when was that? Oh, it's going to go down. It'll explain that here in a minute. The 4th victim, Melissa Floyd, was stabbed and mutilated. Her body was dumped near the interstate northern Palm Beach. Despite the similarities in 3 of the cases, investigators won't say the slayings are related. I don't think it's the same individual, but we haven't ruled that out 100%, said Palm Beach Sheriff Homicide Detective Bob Wolfert, who was investigating the Walters slaying. There's always a slight chance. Walters, Stowe, and Strunk all had small, slender builds and strawberry blonde hair. Each was last seen in Fort Lauderdale. The first body was found February 25th, 1997 in the parking lot of Follies, an adult bookstore in West Palm Beach. Walters, 33, was found naked behind the store parking lot along with small dark blue towel and a pack of cigarettes. Wow. Wolfert suspects the towel with the letters JSM embroidered in white belonged to the killer. Well, that's interesting. Huh. A month later, children playing in a wooded Coral Springs area found the partially clothed body of 40-year-old Stowe. Stowe, a Playboy Playmate of the Month in 1977 who posed with rock star Rod Stewart and Gene Simmons, also had been strangled. Wow, thanks, Cheryl. Jeez. Cheryl Moran. Look at that. Oh yeah, we got Elizabeth, Gray-Eyed Jewel, Gray. Come on. What's this Gray? Check this Gray account. When was that created? Somebody look that one up. Jim Jam Quilter, Lovely Hope, GK, Liz Stapleton, Shelley Wagner. Hey, look at that. Tara German got one. How do you like that, huh? That's pretty cool. Pixie Dust, 1958. But we don't have... oh, so that's old. Huh. How would you have a name Gray? That's crazy. Yeah. That's pretty weird. Oh well. Hey, cool. Maybe that's why you like the channel. I'm a Gray. Okay. You guys finding this interesting? I think it is. Then the day after Thanksgiving, a sanitation worker found Strunk, 36, inside a trash bin behind a Plantation shopping center. In the search for the killer or killers, detectives from Palm Beach. Okay, so this is Strunk. Tammy Strunk. And so that must have been November 1997. Yeah. God, there's so many. It's crazy. We're already up from 86, 97. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But there wasn't like, there's this huge gap. So it's like pretty interesting, the gap. In the search for the killer or killers, detectives from Palm Beach and Broward counties have shared information and compared case notes. They also have search databases for similar slangs across the country. One such search led them to a homicide in South Carolina that resembled Floyd slang. They were both dumped in similar locations and a knife was used, said Palm Beach Sheriff Office Detective Wayne Robinson. Alright, this is 1998. So she was just put in this randomly. I guess this is a bigger story. So this is February 1st, the same date as the other one. Maybe this is kind of continued. The first body was found February 25th, 1997 in a parking lot. We already did that part. I think this is similar, but then it's different here. And Floyd's black, it looks like. In the search for the killer or killers, detectives from Palm Beach and Broward counties have shared information and compared case notes. They also have search databases for similar slangs. Okay, and then the South Carolina prostitute Donna Florence, 29, was dumped under an overpass. Floyd was found 25 days later on the shoulder of Interstate 95, north of Donald Ross Road. There are some similarities, said Sergeant Michael Gordon of the Charleston Police Department. Both women were black and in their 20s. Each was stabbed in the same way, and their bodies were left in similar positions. Well, that's interesting. So that's probably a different killer. Police said they believe Floyd's killer may have traveled down from South Carolina. The person who killed her is a monster, said Floyd's mother, Bertha Floyd. They stabbed her and left her on the side of the road on a hot day. Bertha Floyd had pleaded with her daughter to get off the streets hundreds of times, she got hooked on crack and it just took over her. In 1996, Melissa Floyd was arrested on cocaine charges and sent to a residential drug rehabilitation program. 6 months later, she walked out drug-free and with janitorial job at a Holiday Inn. Within 3 months, she was smoking crack again. Mama, I tried, but I just can't stop, Bertha Floyd remembers her older daughter saying. We both cried and hugged each other. Floyd lived in cheap motels and worked the streets to support her crack habit, but she called home every week, Bertha Floyd said. Melissa Floyd's 2 younger sisters were the last to see her alive in early August when they dropped her off near a hotel in the 2600 block of North Federal Highway after spending an afternoon together. A short time later, the weekly phone calls stopped. Bertha Floyd and her 2 daughters cruised the streets in search of Melissa, who had been beaten and badly hurt by customers in the past. In mid-August, the family found hope. Hey, look at that, 60 months for Zozo. 5 just horrifying years. It's been great. Yeah. No, I think it's been awesome, Zozo. I appreciate you. Your friendship and everything, all the years, all the stuff you've done for me over here, I appreciate it. Maybe, and even though we argue and bicker, I always appreciate you. So there you go. Frustrated, Bertha Floyd filed a missing person report November 20th, more than 3 months after her daughter had last been seen. On December 3rd, Melissa Floyd's body was identified through fingerprints as the Jane Doe who had been in the Palm Beach County morgue since August 13th. I remember the happy times we had together, Bertha Floyd said. Now I want police to find whoever did this. Dead Woman appeared in 1977 as Playboy playmate Ellen Louise Stowe, was known as Star, a Playboy playmate who hung out with rock stars. All right, so if I take the numbers, we are 25 short of a goal. The regular sort of low-end goal, like the 200 number. 250 is when I normally donate my 5 memberships. But we're right there. We're 27 short of the goal. The regular low-end goal. So if you guys as a group can help get us there, that'd be great. All right, so we've already gone over Stowe. In 2000, there's another. So then there was like this article. Look, is serial killer leaving bodies off the road? So this is a different name here, Sia DeMoss. And then these are all different. Kim Dietz Livesey or Livesey. I mean, these are all different names, you guys. I mean, how creepy. And, this one isn't. Crystal Martin, Gina Moore is different. Floyd is one of the ones we talked about. Sandra K. Walters we talked about, but we haven't talked about Jeanette Smith, Delia Lorna Mendez, Kim Livesey, and Sia DeMoss. How crazy is that? We haven't even talked about any of those. Yeah, that's great, Simpson. Right, good for you, man. Yeah, I mean, I have a picture of her it's on the thumbnail, okay? Kind of a weird comment, though. So, is serial killer leaving bodies off the road? I think I'm gonna go. You want to go over this one? I was like, these are interesting to me. That's a huge article, paper. Jeez, what is this? So we got to go back another 214 maybe, 2A, and then next page. Are bodies of women the work of one killer? 2 murdered prostitutes. One found 2 months ago, jammed into a suitcase along a busy road in Cooper City. The other discovered Wednesday stuffed inside a duffel bag 50 yards from the Broward Medical Examiner's office. Both women with a history of cocaine use, both sporting 4 tattoos. Could this be the work of a serial killer? Despite the striking similarities, detectives working the unsolved cases say it's too early to tell. Typically, experts say police begin talking about a serial killer when there is a 3rd or 4th murder that bears the telltale hallmarks of a person who needs to kill. Over the past 3.5 years, 8 other Broward women believed to be involved in prostitution have been found slain, their bodies disposed of in dumpsters along busy highways, even in an appliance box, but never in luggage until now. The similarities are hard to ignore. Jim Legettle of the Broward Sheriff's Office said of the 2 latest cases, but we are looking for evidence, not coincidence. Well, thanks, Moofies, again. Man, you guys got to help out Moofies. She's kind of a one-man band. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Thanks, Moofies. But never in luggage until now. The similarities are hard to ignore. Detectives wondered why the killer or killers left the luggage by the side of the road where it would, and then, so let's see, 24, 37, 237. Is that right? Oh, it was 1 page extra. Back. Right here. There we go. Quick, why they leave the luggage next to the road where they'd quickly be found instead of burying it, dumping it in the water, or otherwise hiding it. The woman in the duffel bag was Sia Damas, 21. Police wouldn't comment on reports that she, like the woman 2 months earlier, had been beaten to death. She was discovered so close to the medical examiner's office that all workers there had to do was wheel a gurney out to the street to get her. It's like the guy wanted them to find her, said a Broward detective who did not want to be named. That's his calling card. It's like, here it is, catch me if you can. The woman in the suitcase, killed by a blow to the head, was Kim Dietz Livesey, 35, who managed a health food store when she was in recovery from alcohol and drug addiction, and at other times worked the streets. The mother of a toddler, Dietz Lively, had been arrested for prostitution at a Miami public park 2 weeks before her death. The Moss had served time in state prison for violation of probation on cocaine possession violation and been arrested several times for prostitution. She had been in and out of drug rehab programs while on probation. Her favorite location, according to a man who rented a room to her, was at Sunrise and Andrews in Fort Lauderdale. Investigators have a tool at their disposal that they did not have before it could help them track the murder. Investigators have a tool at their disposal that they did not have before. It could help them track the murder if the murderer has killed like this before. The asset is the FBI-developed Violent Criminal Apprehension Program, or VICAP, a computer system installed in March at the Broward Sheriff's Office and Fort Lauderdale Police Departments. All right, currently we're 2 memberships short tonight of reaching the goal. So can the freaks do it out there? We just don't know. But I hope so. We've been doing well. You guys have been really, like the last 2 weeks or so, we've caught up, almost to, I mean, I can't say it's been a normal month even with that, but it got to where it was, mildly acceptable for what we've been doing. So I appreciate all you guys' support. Alright, so then it says, detectives type in the details of a murder or a assault and the database searches police files. Thanks, Jim Lon. Detectives type in the details of a murder or assault and the database searches police files across the nation for similar cases, alerting cops that they are up against a serial offender. Mary Ann Krause, the FBI's VICAP coordinator, says the system is specifically useful in places like South Florida where the population is so transient. Legettle of BSO declined to comment on whether his detectives were using VICAP on Damas's case. The system has helped solve many crimes. Most recently, it helped identify Angel Motorino Resendez, a vagrant who hopped freight trains and was dubbed the Boxcar Killer for 10 years worth of murders or people who lived near railroad tracks. He was linked to 9 murders in 3 states. Experts say serial killers are more complex psychologically than other murders. The killer will continue to kill until caught or until some other event comes up with incarceration for other, for some other crime. So my eyes are really dry. It's weird. Even if there is a cooling down period in which the killer is jailed, the murders continue after the killer is released. There are 4 basic types of serial murderers. The lust killer, who kills to be sexually aroused, so the killing is what aroused them. Thus, more they torment or torture their victim, the more sexually stimulated they become. The thrill killer, who gets a high from the excitement of killing. These may be among the most sadistic murders. I'm glad we read this article. Okay. The missionary killer, who to those who know him may appear to be perfectly normal, but who has a hidden need to rid the world of people he deems undesirable. So those are ones that maybe kill a sex worker. I wonder if somebody like I don't know. I mean, like Ed Kemper. I don't think he was doing that because these weren't undesirable people. I think any of the killers that kill sex workers might have that thought. His victims often include certain groups of people like prostitutes or vagrants. The visionary, and by the way, I didn't read ahead or anything like that. You guys know me over the years. The visionary killer, who is more obviously psychotic and who may claim to hear voices telling him what to do, like Son of Sam, David Berkowitz, who said a black Labrador retriever told him when to kill. Serial killers also are motivated to kill complete strangers. Again and again, said Richard Thorndike of Orlando, who studies criminal psychology for Florida police departments. Like most prostitutes, Damas was transient, with several previous addresses associated with their name. Her last reported address is a home in Wilton Manors, where she lived briefly 2 years ago. Born in Chicago, Damas moved with her family to Dania Beach, and later Hollywood, where she grew up. Friends remember her as a person who loved attending neighborhood pool parties. Sometimes During her early teen years, she began abusing drugs. Her mother, Pam Sager, did what she could to help friends say, but Her mother, Pam Sager, did what she could to help friends say, but DeMoss would run away from home often. She eventually dropped out of middle school. There you go, Sandy Shirley, you did it. You got us to our minimum goal level. So that was very cool. All right. Let's see. Joe Keene, another friend of DeMoss, said she used his Wilton Manor address to receive mail the time she was in and out of jail for cocaine possession and prostitution charges. And see, there's Ellen Louise Stowe is one of the ones mentioned in this long list here. All right, then I found this. So that's her right there. That's Stowe. Florida authorities reopened unsolved cold case killing of Playboy Playmate star Stowe. I mean, why hers, you know? Like, I mean, it's cool and everything, but kind of makes you wonder, like, why hers? Hey, thanks, Mike. It's like almost because she was popular. Maybe make a bigger splash today if they did something. So let's just see what this one says. Hey, we can have this read it. So here we go. It's only 6 minutes and 12 seconds. Let me get that off the screen again. Sandy Shirley. All right. Well, thanks.
A former
Thanks,
Playboy
Cheryl.
playmate who once dated a performer from Kiss.
Well, hold on a second. Hey, thanks, Cheryl. Let me put that over there. And by the way, that gets us only 30 away from me gifting the 5, man. You guys are coming through. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Thank you. Very kind, very kind.
Was murdered in Florida decades after she found fame on the West Coast. On the afternoon of March 16, 1997, Dennis Pickering, now a former detective with the Coral Springs Police Department, responded to the report of a dead woman lying face down behind a drugstore. I noticed she had a star tattooed on her body, Pickering recalled of the strangled victim, and I kind of kiddingly said to another detective, you know, back in the 70s, there was a girl who was dating Gene Simmons, who had a tattoo in the very same spot. She was a centerfold for Playboy. Despite the odds, Pickering learned the victim was, in fact, the same Playboy bunny.
You know, it's weird. When I read this, I was like, I noticed she had a star tattoo on her body, Pickering recalled of the strangled victim. And I kind of kiddingly said to another detective, you know, back in the 70s, there was a girl who was dating Gene Simmons who had a tattoo in the very same spot. So this guy's basically admitting that he was looking at Playboy and looked at it so, you know, much that he actually remembered the tattoo that the person in the Playboy had on. So he kind of gave that away, didn't he?
I noticed she had a star tattooed on her body, Pickering recalled of the strangled victim, and I kind of kiddingly said to another detective, you know, back in the 70s, there was a girl who was dating Gene Simmons, who had a tattoo in the very same spot. She was a centerfold for Playboy. Despite the odds, Pickering learned the victim was, in fact, the same Playboy bunny he was referring to, star Stowe, Playmate of the Month in February 1977. Originally from Little Rock, Arkansas, Stowe had a small-town girl vibe who aspired to be a dancer and rock musician, recalled Stella Tettenbaum, a Playboy Mansion hostess from 1978 to 1980. Stowe was plunged into the world of rock when she met Kiss bass guitarist Simmons at the Hotel Sahara in Las Vegas, where he was performing at the time. The two took a shine to each other, and she thought he was an adorable and down-to-earth guy, unlike his on-stage persona. Stowe's friend Jeff Olson said, Stowe and Simmons were a couple for 3 years and the two appeared to be crazy about each other. At one point during their time together, Simmons reportedly encouraged Stowe to send her photos to Playboy. At age 20 she got her big break thanks to the magazine. Star didn't understand much about what would happen after she was used up, and there wasn't somebody there to catch her, Tettenbaum said, explaining she knew firsthand how life in Hollywood, and behind the closed doors of the Playboy mansion, could be scary and dangerous. According to Stowe's friend, Olson, the playmate was allegedly advised to take drugs and alcohol while hanging out with Hugh Hefner. Over time, her addictions began to get the best of her, and she grew depressed. Tettenbaum said Stowe was always in a haze and needed to be put in rehab, but never got any help. Simmons and Stowe eventually split, and the Playboy playmate's life spiraled out of her control. By 1980, Stowe, fed up with the lifestyle at the mansion, cut ties with Hugh Hefner and Playboy, depriving the now 22-year-old of the money she made with personal appearances, promotions, and other opportunities. In 1981, Stowe moved to Las Vegas, married an aspiring rock musician, and the two had a son. She began stripping to support her family, and she and her husband eventually split. Once the dancing jobs in Las Vegas dried up, Stowe moved to Fort Lauderdale, Florida, where she continued to perform. In over her head, and still in the throes of drug and alcohol addiction, she eventually turned to sex work to make ends meet. On March 15, 1997, almost 20 years to the day her centerfold in Playboy hit newsstands, Stowe was seen getting into a vehicle in Fort Lauderdale. She was found dead the following afternoon. I was heartbroken. Nobody deserves to be murdered, and especially someone that is trying to get back on the right track, Olson said of his longtime friend. Pickering said he and other detectives worked hundreds of hours on the case, but Stowe's murder remains unsolved over 25 years after she was strangled to death. The case was recently reopened, and detectives reportedly are attempting to use DNA evidence collected during the investigation to identify the former Playboy playmate's killer. Olson now wonders what could have become of Stowe had she not scored the gig with Playboy when she was a young woman. I think she could have made it, he said. For more on this case, stream the Playboy murders on Discovery+. Rhonda Sue Coleman's small-town murder is still... For more on this case, stream the Playboy murders on Discovery+. Rhonda Sue Coleman's small-town murder is still a whodunit after 30 years. Nobody was ever charged for the murder of a high school...
Well, anyway, that's pretty interesting. What was the date on that was... So this is February of 2023, so that's 2 years ago. Weirdly. I mean, that's so long ago. Yeah. Crazy. Feel bad for her, you know. Seems like she just got sort of used up by the... You know, Hefner reminds me of... who's the guy that would fly people to Epstein? I think Hefner has a little something like an Epstein vibe sometimes. You know, who the hell knows what was going on behind the doors over there. All right. You know what? Even though we didn't make it to the goal, the goal that I do it, I'm gonna do it anyway. I'm gonna send in the 5 memberships just because you guys are amazingly were able to get us, you know, on track even on a slower late night. So here we go. And 5 more. Let's see. Is she going to be in GSU going to show up in this one? Just randomly. Mandy Strong. Not a real Karen. That must be the Karen. Not a real Karen. Bobby, Hey Red, and Aussie True Crime. Yeah. All right. Anyways, there you go. Give it a shot. Give it a shot. Now, it's kind of been cool being able to go over some of these older cases again. Don't you find that was incredibly interesting? All those different people and right around the same time frame, and just, you know, I mean, look at the mapping we've done. Like, look at this. These are all some of these other cases, all in this little tiny place. See that? Over a certain period of time, like a 10-year period. Yep. Not sure what's going on with that.
I prefer the Marsoda at Penthouse.
But thanks, Come on, Jim. What do you make comments like that? Thanks to Justin, G, Kayla, Lawrence, Alex, Ted Bundy, someone named Sex Worker, Lisa V, and Mike W. on Buy Me a Coffees. I don't know if they want their real last names out there. And then we also had a Venmo from Allison as well. Hold on a second. Okay. All right. I'm just trying to find if I got everybody in here. I think I tried. I tried to do as best I could. I hope I got everybody into the spin here. So we're going to do the Wheel of Names again. There we go. Alright, this is for the notebook. Oh! Matthew Price. Let's see. Yeah, there you go. So, Matthew, send me your address and an email, and then I'll add it to the list and ship them off. Cheryl Moran almost won. You probably should have won because you know. Hey Cheryl, why don't you send me your information? I'll send you a notebook anyways. All right. So send me an email. I'll send you one. All right. That'd be cool. All right. So now we're gonna go through the show we had. Robin, Cheryl, Jim Lawn, Mama 457 Rose, Susie Sandpiper, Jim Lawn, Michelle H, Matthew Price, Michelle H, Matthew Price. I think he just had that one spin. That was amazing. Uniquely, Susie, retired hospice RN, Stealthy, Sinner. I think I had Sinner on there. Yep, it's at the top there. K-Me, Kim Worth, Susie Sandpiper, Moofies, Matthew Price, Lizzie Robb, Moofies, Timothy Cecil, whose birthday it just was, and then Linda Howe, as in Linda Molden Howe of the Cattle Mutilations, Roofies, Alex, and Alex all gifted memberships, then Moofies, and then KK gifted 5, then Cheryl Moran gifted 10, then Zozo 60 months, then Moofies, then Jim Lawn, and Moofies was pretty, did a lot of support tonight, thank you very much. Jim Lawn, Sandy Shirley, Cheryl Moran, and then I gifted 5, and then Jim Lawn. Oh, you already have a couple notebooks? Trying to land another one because my 9-year-old wants one. Well, let's see. Well, you could have easily bought one tonight, Moofy, so why don't you send me your address too, I guess. Although, I don't know, it's hard to just keep doing that over and over again because it's kind of like just a game that we're playing. I think we will have to remember tell Matthew he came. Huh? He came for Kohberger. I don't know what that means. No idea. But hey, thank you guys very much for being here. I do exist. I'm down here, just sleepy. Oh, cool. All right. Well, thanks, everybody. Appreciate it. Thanks for all the support you guys are giving the channel. Trying to get back on the right path, you know. Yeah, we got scholarship fund to fund. We got to give money to the DNA fund. I think maybe tomorrow we'll do something where, like, if we bring in 300, I'll donate 500 to a place like maybe Nickmec. It's been a while. And then on donation night, I'll try to do maybe 1,000 to 2 different places. It's not like that's what I'm saying. Like, we used to be able to do like 4.5, 5, but the income, you know, this month is, you know, started off so slow, but we kind of, you know, made up some ground on it at the second half. So I think if I could do 2,500, we'd be at 4,000. But that's only 24,000 total, which, shit, that's still pretty good, right? But I'd like to do more than that. But I think once we get into the trials and, you know, maybe the other cases will pop up, things will pick up again. But I appreciate you guys. Thank you all very much, and we'll see you tomorrow. All right, so thanks for being here. And as I always say, until next time, be safe out there. And a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4. Thanks, everybody. Yeah, I've been doing this true crime thing for quite a while now. And during this whole time, I have not seen one person that is a...
Not even one!
Crime dissector, flag rejector. I'm a certified human lie detector. Gonna get ya on a stretcher if you try and play me like a to the jury, didn't you? Crime sector is my nectar. Professor Grader's gonna give another lecture. Crime collector, freak connector, and I'm always gonna be a pup protector. Field deflector, interceptor, and I'm meaner than a spectre with a vector on his pector. With all respect, y'all. Just remember, I've a temple fucking check ya. I have no agenda, I'm no pretender, and I'll serve it to you straight without the blender. And in the end, I'm gonna send ya on a mission to reveal the true offender.
You pieces of shit got to the jury, didn't
right
you?
back door.
We were all Richard Allen!
That's pretty funny. Yes, you too, everybody. Come watch the defense team for Richard Allen. Yes, you too can buy a book that'll describe every single thing that we've done to trick the public into pretending that we know what the hell we're doing. In fact, we did a 130-page Odin document that was full of shit because later we were going to try to pin it on Ron Logan, another rodeo clown who died before we were ever even able to ask him a question. And then if that wasn't... Anyways, alright, see you guys. Alright, see you guys.